Hello everybody and welcome to every anime I watched in 2019 ranked from worst to best. So, I watched 50 anime overall this year. And yeah, I just figured, what's a good end of year video? We'll rank them all, you know? First thing to note, this is my opinion, right? This isn't objective, I've not looked at the scores or nothing like that. You're gonna disagree with me, please don't shout at me. Like, you're gonna like shows I've put near the bottom, you're gonna hate shows I've put near the top. That's just how this works. I wanted to do a full-on, like, proper, well-edited, you know, put together thing, but I ran out of time, so we'll put some things in, but for the most part you're gonna be looking at my face, I'm sorry. But yeah, this should be fun. We're probably gonna be here a while. Another thing to note, I would love to see your rankings of everything you watched as well. Like, put them in the comments if you want, because I think that'd be cool to see, you know? See how people compare, see like what people hated that I liked and vice versa and all that other good stuff. But yeah, let's just jump right into this because we're going to be here for a while, so let's not dilly-dally with the intro. I have no idea how, you know how long it's going to be because you've seen the bar at the bottom. I can't see that because it's not been made yet, but anyway, let's crack on with this, starting from the top. Let's go. Number 50 is Pastel Memories. The worst show I've seen this year is Pastel Memories. I decided to watch this show because the title was similar to Plastic Memories, and I love Plastic Memories, so I was like, I sort of put the link in my head. They're not related at all, I'll just throw that out here. No. This show, what it's about, the Akihabara has been like, all the anime stuff's gone away. They gotta save it. They save it by going into the worlds of the manga and the anime. That's right, it's like Kingdom Hearts for anime, and I bloody love Kingdom Hearts. So yeah, I was fully expecting to love this, and I really like the concept. But that's the only thing I like, is the concept. I think the problem with this is that it's episode of the week-ish, but the cast is too big. I think there's 12 girls, like, in the main cast. Should have just had 3 really, and had them build throughout the series. I can't remember anyone's name. The animation was not great. The jokes weren't funny, you know, it just wasn't a good watch. It got to the point where I was pushing myself through just to get to the end, you know, because like I said, I really enjoyed the concept, and I was hoping it might pick up at some point and be good. It didn't, you know, and I think it's one of the lowest rated things this year as well. So it's not just me that dislikes this show. It is disliked by most people that watched it. Not that a lot of people watched it to begin with, but it could have been good. I want someone to take the concept and make a good show. That'd be great. I believe this was based on a mobile game, which, you know, mobile game anime are never good. Or are they? Stay tuned for more on that. But yeah, Pastel Memories. Number 49 is Isekai Cheat Magician. In a previous video, I called this show Bread. Isekai Cheat Magician is just... it's so bland, man. It's like literally just Isekai. And I think maybe it was part of the summer Isekai fiasco. Check out that video if you want to see more about what I thought about the summer Isekai. Shameless plug. But Isekai Cheat Magician was, honestly, watching it, I was predicting what was happening episodes in advance because it was just so not good in a PG way. It was so bland, so uninteresting. I guess if there's one positive, Rei Takahashi's in it, and I bloody love her. She's great. Why was she in this? You know, none of the characters were interesting. You know, you got your black-haired anime boy as the protagonist, which, how original, you know. But it's not just about the designs are actually one of the better parts of the show. Like, they're not all amazing, but they're at least okay. But when the story and the animation and all that is so subpar, I mean, good character designs aren't going to save that. So yeah, Isekai Cheat Magician was honestly one of the more boring than Pastel Memories. Isekai Cheat Magician might have been the most boring show I watched this year. Because, like, at least Pastel Memories had a good concept. Isekai Cheat Magician was just bland, but it was less bad, but it was still very bad. Don't watch it unless you. This should be the last Isekai you watch. Like, watch even like Smartphone, Death March, and some other Isekai that are coming up in a minute. Watch them before you watch this, because God, this was another one struggled to get through. Number 48 is Wise Man's Grandchild. Everything I just said about Isekai Cheat Magician, it applies to Wise Man's Grandchild, except Wise Man's Grandchild at least used its OP protagonist better. Like, he was OP, so, and everyone knew he was OP. It's not like Isekai Cheat Magician where it's like he's OP sometimes and he doesn't really do anything OP. Isekai Wise Man's Grandchild, sorry, at least he is always the top dog. Like, no one stands a chance. He is very strong, you know, and that's good. That's better than Isekai Cheat Magician. But I mean, I don't have too much to say because almost everything I said about Isekai Cheat Magician applies here as well. You have, you know, your generic short-haired anime protagonist. There's a lot of characters in this one, I guess I'll say about that. You know, a lot of them are one note, it's fair to say. But I mean, there was a battle school part as well. It was like it was a fantasy school isekai. Like, it was very generic, you know, and it was, God, Wise Man's Grandchild was not good, and people defended it. It's one of the shows that, unlike Isekai Cheat Magician, people defend this show to me, and I just can't see why. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. It's not something I will ever watch again, very likely. Number 47 is How Clumsy You Are, Miss Ueno, or Ueno-san, or whatever else you want to call it. This one, I don't even necessarily think this show is terrible, but God, am I not the audience for it. All the jokes is like, there's like pee, a lot of pee. She sat on like a thing at one point, and it, you know, it was a lot of jokes that didn't make me laugh. It was a short series. It was okay. It wasn't okay. I didn't like it. I can see why people would like it, but for me, it was a chore to watch. I was not really a fan. I don't have too much to add. Basically, it was about a smart kid, but she was like a tsundere, and she wanted to tell this guy she liked him. But because she's a tsundere, she came up with these over-the-top ways of doing it. And it could have been interesting, but everything sort of comes back to being either a joke about pee or sex, basically. And I don't have problems with those sort of jokes, but when everything's the same joke, the same punchline, just a bit eh. And the boy was super dense too. Never seen that before in an anime. Who knew? But yeah, don't have too much to add here. It was eh. It was not for me. I think this one is the way to say it. And as I said, this is my list. It's basically an enjoyment thing as opposed to a objective best to worst or worst to best. So yeah, that's why it's so low. Sorry, Ueno-san. Make good thumbnail faces though. Number 46 is Demon Lord Retry. Another one from the summer isekai fiasco. This one felt like they tried to cram every isekai that was good to get a bit of Konosuba in here, get a bit of ReZero, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Overlord, just smash it all together and you get this, but bad. It was not very well animated. There was something that attracted me to it though. I liked the character designs, you know, they looked different-ish, and I thought it was alright, character design-wise. Overall, it was pretty boring and nothing really happened. But yeah, I do think that I might be suffering a bit from isekai burnout. There are far too many. I might skip some early next year. I might just not watch some isekai just to refresh myself. That would be good. But no, this one, it's another OP isekai protagonist, except this time he's not a teenage child, so I guess he's not an idiot. He's got his plan. He's going to build a town or whatever. I think that's what this show is about. Yeah, as you probably guessed, it's not that memorable, as I'm struggling to recall what it was about. It wasn't very well animated from what I remember, but it wasn't. It was more watchable than like Isekai Cheat Magician. It was at least it tried to do something different. Even if that different thing was everything that other shows have put together and mashed together, you know? At least it wasn't just the bare minimum effort, which I guess I could applaud it for not being lazy, even if it was bad. So, Demon Lord Retry, you tried. Don't retry, please. Number 45 is Do You Love Your Mum and Her 2-Hit Multi-Target Attacks. Another Isekai. I'm sensing a trend here. It's also from the summer. Please go watch that video. It has like 10 views. I would like more, please. Please? Yeah, this one was, I mean, everyone going in was talking about it because it's the MILF Isekai. But it's not good, is it? It doesn't know what it wants to be. It's like, 1 minute it's an ecchi fan service show and it's creepy because his mum, and that's not, it's his blood related mum. That's even weirder unless you're from one of them places that does that. I'm not going to name those places, you know where they are. And then the next minute, it tries to be all serious until it's got serious problems in it, like domestic problems, and it just doesn't solve it very well. I'm sorry. This show actually angered me, you know, the way it went about solving its problems between, you know, the mums and the daughters. I'm not going to give no spoilers in this video, I should specify, but God, it legitimately made me angry, because it felt like it was trying to push its own ideas onto me, and I don't like that. Like, I don't know, it just, the way they solved the problems, for me, didn't match the story we were being told. It felt like they had to make up for making up's sake, you know, not because that's the natural course of action. If the mum's a dick, your mum's a dick, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, this one, I mean, the jokes, while they might have been funny at first, they repeat them a lot. There's a lot, and by the end of it, I was just glad for it to be over, you know? It's not, at least it was, much like Demon Lord Retry, in fact, even more like than Demon Lord Retry, words are hard, at least this show it's got its unique thing. It's the MILF Isekai, and it will always be able to hold its head, not high, but it'll hold its head like this. That it tried that, and you know, now that they've done it, everything was about mums in this show, to the point where it was honestly quite a joke. So, yeah, you tried. As I said, it angered me. Not for me. Do a better job next time. Number 44 is Assassin's Pride, airing this season now. The first thing I think I've said airing this season. Assassin's Pride is, I mean, other than the character designs look like they copied the homework of Sword Art Online, Assassin's Pride was, I mean, it still is, very, I'm trying to like it, you know. I'm really trying, and I just can't. I just cannot enjoy this show. The title, Assassin's Pride, makes you think something, but it makes you think what you're expecting. Something maybe dark, assassin in the shadows, you know, something like that. And it's not that. It's a fantasy battle school anime, and I've seen enough of them. And this one doesn't do anything particularly interesting. It could have been good. Like, the world could be interesting if they had flipping explained anything more than for a second, you know. Instead, no, we got to focus on Melida having fun with her friends at school. No, that's crap. And also, they're like, he's too old. Why are they kissing? No, I don't particularly care about that. It's fiction. I don't care. But yeah, it's just a bit naff. It's honestly, it's got some good parts. I should probably say, I'm quite a positive person. So even the shows I really don't like, I try and find at least like a few good things in. So like Assassin's Pride, I do like some things, but it's just, to get all together, it's really naff. Like, I feel like sometimes they try with Assassin's Pride, other times they couldn't be asked, but sometimes they try. I think that's a good way of putting it. Just wish it focused more on the assassin and less on the prepubescent high school girl, or not even, she's middle school girl, the small lolly child. Let's not focus on her. She's not interesting, although she gets more interesting, but she's still not interesting enough. I want to know more about the dark, the organization, all this other stuff, not what flipping the girl wants for tea. Assassin's Pride isn't for me, let's just put it that way, if you couldn't tell. Number 43 is Refaretta from Commonplace to World's Strongest. So the anime sucks, right? Let's call a spade a spade. It sucks. Dreadful CG. They butchered the story. I've since gone back and read the light novels for season 1, and Christ is all I'm gonna say. The light novels are genuinely alright. They are quite good. They're still like super edgy and all that, but if you go in knowing that's what you're getting, they're good. The anime, I mean, it is a case of them trying to put way too much in the series. This season, 13 episodes, shouldn't have been more than 2 books at most. They put 4 in. So that, you know, explains a lot of why, you know, it's crammed and crap. But like I said, the bad CG, the animation's not great. It's this high up, honestly, because what we saw in the anime got me interested enough to read the light novels. So it did sort of do its job. But then looking back at the anime, it wasn't good. But it might have been entertaining, especially at points, because it was just the edgiest. It's probably the edgiest show I've seen this year, like unapologetically so. And you know, it was kind of refreshing to see something so edgy and almost like it knew it was super edgy, as opposed to like other shows where they try and be not they're edgy, but they're trying to be cool edgy. This just feels like it was just being edgy, you know, and it was kind of nice to see. But no, it does suck. I'm not gonna defend it. It does suck. So it's enjoyable though. You can enjoy this one, I think. So if you're gonna watch it, go in with that. Basically, I should probably explain briefly what it's about. It's another isekai. He's super weak while all of his classmates are really strong, and then he falls into an abyss. And but half that stuff I just said isn't in the anime. That's them cutting out important stuff. That bit's pretty important. Why would you cut that out? And yeah, then he gets super strong. Basically, is the abridged version of the plot. There's also a naked vampire lolly, so there's that too. Number 42 is Magical Senpai. This was another short series. Basically, it's the busty senpai doing magic tricks and ending up tying herself up in sexual situations. That's what this anime was, you know. Let's not pretend it's anything else. It was enjoyable enough, but you gotta know that's what it is. Alright, I can enjoy ecchi shows, you know, I don't care. It's short, it's like 2 hours. Easy way to kill 2 hours, you know. It was fine. I don't have a lot to add on this one. No, doesn't really have anything of substance, but it was a fine, alright watch, you know. And like I said, I'm positive. You see, we're still like low down. I'm already being all smiles and happy. It was fine, Magical Senpai. I really don't have much to say on this. To be honest, it was just fine. Number 41 is another short series, Are You Lost? This one was about 4 girls who end up somehow stranded on a desert island, or not a desert island, just an island. And they've got to survive, and that's again the basic thing of the plot. Yeah, it was fine. I have no idea if the survival tips in this work. Hopefully I'll never be stranded on an island. But yeah, there was a part where they had to like, I'm not even going to do it, you know, drink out of each other's bum, I think is what they were doing, or into their bum. I'm going to gag in a minute, so let's change the subject. Yeah, it was interesting, you know. It was 2 hours long. It felt like a bit longer, so it felt like they had more content in there than perhaps they did. It was all right, you know. By the end of it, I was like, yeah, this is all right. Slightly better than Magical Senpai, I thought. Mainly just for the informativeness. Is that a word? That's the word we're going to go with. Learn how to survive, kids. It was fun. That's another thing to put it. These short series, I honestly don't have much to say on, so let's move on. Number 40 is The Ones Within. This show was like Danganronpa mixed with some game show, basically, right? So the plot of this one, a bunch of streamers, like Twitch streamers or whatever, get plucked. They get isekai'd to another world, or it might not be another world. They get taken basically and end up in this this island. And then they are forced by an alpaca, not Monokuma, I promise, to do various challenges to get these key things to, you know, get further in the thing. It's, like I said, very Danganronpa-esque, only without the completely brutal death, so that's good. Yeah, this one came a bit out of nowhere. No, not many people watched it, but I had an alright time watching it. There were points for sure where I was like, oh my god, this is not good. But there are other points where I was like, yeah, this is alright, you know. I've seen worse, which is why it's 40. You know, 40 is where we're averaging at. Like I said, I'm a positive man. I like a lot of things. Yeah, this was not that bad. It was silly in places, and that kind of didn't work for me. But, you know, when it worked, it worked. By the end of it, I did get attached to the cast of characters. So, you know, at the beginning it was like, yeah, I don't care about any of you. And then by the end I was like, oh, I know your name. I know all your names. You're all, you know, they have their interactions and everything. That was maybe some of the weakest stuff was actually their interactions. But in terms of us knowing them, that was good. And the challenges were okay too. So, yeah, the ones within, not terrible. Not great, obviously, but not terrible. I've seen a lot worse. 39 is Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher? Right, for those who aren't aware, there is a meme. A meme? We'll call it a meme. Between me and, you know, my friends, I've referenced it in other videos before, that, hey, I like teachers, apparently. So, I watched this show to dispel this meme, to get rid of it. I was going into this like, I'm going to hate this. It's going to suck. I'm going to get rid of this rumour. Is it a rumour? Whatever. And I ended up having a blast. I loved this show. Honestly, I would put this show way higher, but I don't want to completely kill my credibility. Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher? I had so much fun with it, you know. It was, by the end of it, I was annoyed how much I enjoyed it. It was, basically, you don't know what this is about. Basically, teachers, students, banging. Not actually banging, but getting into relationships. Which, you know, don't try and seduce your teachers, kids. And teachers, don't try and seduce your students either. Let's keep things PG. But no, this show, I had a good old time watching it. It was, I mean, it should have been a hentai, but I didn't mind it as it was, you know, as an ecchi. It was censored, that's a bit lame, but I liked it, you know. I don't have much to add. Am I a bad person? It was. I mean, I've done nothing to help myself with these rumours, but why the hell are you here, teacher? You can have a comfortable 39, you know. That's, Christ. I do this to myself, don't I? Number 38 is Henski, one of the many high school harem trash shows that I have watched this year, because I am high school harem trash. This one, it's basically like Sherlock Holmes, right? He gets a confession letter and a pair of panties, and he's got to deduce who they're from. And he eventually does. I'm not going to spoil it, because why would I? But yeah, the conclusion is doesn't really, it's a bit of a solved nothing conclusion. But the show itself, it is what it is. It is a typical high school harem, you know, fare. But I guess it would have added like mystery that we don't quite know who the mystery girl is. But it's not like it's difficult to figure out. You could easily figure it out from the beginning, and I think I did, but I didn't want to admit I did because I didn't want it to be boring. You know, I was trying to think that maybe they're smarter than they were. But yeah, it was still alright, you know, but typical for this sort of show. If you like high school harems, there's no reason not to watch this one, because it is just another one. And you know how, just eat them all up, they're great. Speaking of high school harem trash, right, number 37, I think that's what we're on, is But We Never Learn, Bokuben. If Asterisk War is the most generic fantasy battle school, if Isekai Cheat Magician is the most generic isekai, We Never Learn is probably the most generic high school harem. It's not bad, but it is pretty bog standard, you know. I'm enjoying it, but it's hard to get excited for it, which is pretty damning praise, I think. It is, like I said, the most generic high school harem, I think, this year. It's above Henski, because Henski has more problems than this one. But yeah, this one is, I mean, it's average in every way. It's hard for me to even talk about it. It's just guy tutors some girls, and they all end up liking him, you know? And I'm including both seasons, in this because they both aired this year, and honestly, if I tried to differentiate between them, they're not that different. I mean, season 2 might be one ahead, like they're basically the same. So I just put them as one thing because, I mean, why would I split them up? That seems a bit silly. But yeah, We Never Learn. It's good. It's fine. It's good if you like this show. You know, this genre, high school harem. You know what you're getting into with a high school harem, and it's this. This is what you're getting into. It doesn't do anything different or revolutionary. It doesn't do anything terrible. It just sort of, it's just another high school harem. I don't have much to say on this one. It's fine. Number 36, and what I'll say is probably the biggest disappointment this year, I think. Everyone was hyped for it. It's One Punch Man Season 2. And number 36 is pretty damning for how low this is. One Punch Man, what made it great was the really good animation. I'm not one of those people that is like, animation, if something's got crap animation, that doesn't mean it can't be alright. But One Punch Man, because it's an action series, you really need at least alright animation. And for the most part, the animation isn't dreadful. For the most part, there is a few episodes where it is bad. It's really bad. It's just kind of uninspired, the animation. I think the story might be better than season 1, but because the animation is so and the ending, it doesn't end. It feels like they're mid-arc when they end. It just kind of Imagine saying that One Punch Man is forgettable, but that's what this season was. Garo at least was a very interesting character that they introduced. He's not even playable in that new game they're making. How do you not have Garo playable? DLC, to sell DLC. But that's besides the point, right? Garo, again, this show focused way too little on Saitama and Garo. They're the best characters. When it focused on them was when it was better. In fact, the whole last part with Garo was probably the best part of the season. Saitama barely showed up. Instead, we focused a lot on the other heroes, which, I mean, makes sense for a battle anime, but the show is called One Punch Man. If you're not doing the one punching, you're kind of taking away the unique part of the show. They even had a tournament arc, and the tournament arc wasn't very good. Like I said, big disappointment, and I'm not even a mega fan of One Punch Man. I thought the first season was good, but I wasn't blown away by it. I didn't think it was amazing. Looking back though, comparatively, it's like oil and water. Is that that's not the right expression, but you know what I'm saying. Season 1 is really good because of the animation. Season 2, because the animation isn't great or as good, it's just forgettable, and it's not good. Hopefully, I was gonna say, I mean, I don't even know if I want to see more. When people are saying read the manga instead, which isn't animated, I know people say that all the time, but with this instance, it sort of makes sense because it's like, well, in the anime, the character bodies are sort of deformed in some parts. So yeah, maybe the manga is the better option. It's just a bit, it is pretty sad that's the state of things, but that's sort of what happened. After all that sadness about One Punch Man, let's move on to number 35. 35 is Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life? It's another Isekai, hooray! But no, we're out of the bad Isekai territory now. This one, as the title might suggest, it's average, It's more of a slice of life than a typical Isekai. They just go on mundane quests and, go shopping. I'm not doing a good job of selling it. It's honestly not bad. The characters are likable enough. And yeah, it feels like it's an easy, fluffy watch. But if you want anything of substance, anything, it's not here. Basically, the girl gets reincarnated. She asks for average abilities. And she does get average abilities, but it's the average of the world, not average for humans, so she's actually like way up here. It's not terrible, it has its moments. There are some episodes that you just want to go to sleep, but there are other episodes where it's like, yeah, it was alright, The highlight of the series, I think, is definitely the bond between the 4 leads. That's good. Hopefully they end it well. It's airing right now still, so hopefully they end it well. Not sure if they will though. It's sort of started to peter out a lot these last few weeks, but hopefully it can bounce back for the finales. Number 34 is a show that people might be surprised to see this low down. It's Fire Force. yeah, Fire Force is really... I'm not enjoying Fire Force. I haven't been for a while. Fire Force, I mean, it starts alright, and the fight scenes in Fire Force are actually really good. And that's about the only thing of praise I can give to Fire Force, is the fight scenes. Everything else is just a bit not good. You know, you got your pointless fan service with Tamaki. It doesn't make sense, you know, it's stupid. I'm okay with fan service. I think that will become clear, hopefully. But with Tamaki, it just doesn't make sense. A could just fall off. It's not funny because it doesn't make any logical sense. The characters, I guess I'll talk about them. I don't feel like I know any of these characters any better than I did at the beginning, except maybe Shinra and maybe Arthur, you know? And we're right near the end now. And surprise, surprise, this current arc's quite good because what's it focusing on? Fighting. It's not throwing its story and everything in your face. I don't think Fire Force does much well other than the fight scenes, which I know a lot of people are liking this one, but I'm just not liking it. It's interesting. I like the premise and I like the setting. I do like the world. The world is quite interesting, but God, I think the characters are what are really dragging Fire Force down for me. Like, if this was a silent anime where all they did was fight, I'd probably like it more. And that's, again, a pretty damning thing to say. Sorry, Fire Force, but I'm just not a fan of you. I think your biggest problem... Fire Force, of course, has been very unfortunate with its timing and everything. It's been airing, of course, there was the Kyoto Animation fire. There was the fact that it's airing... Whenever it's been airing, there's been better shonens on. So it just feels like another shonen, and you know, at a time when we're getting one too many, and this is the one. Sorry, Fire Force, you could have been really good, but it's been unfortunate and it's had its own shortcomings. But together, I'm just not having fun watching it. It is. I will admit though, the fight scenes really can make this. You know, some of them are really impressive and incredible, and yeah, the fact that it is this high up, despite my dislike for it, should hopefully show that it's not terrible, but it's one of the ones where I do struggle to get excited for it. And some weeks I even like dread watching it. Not dread, that's the wrong word, but I'm just like, oh god, really? You know? Sorry, Fire Force. I'm sorry. Number 33 is Yuno. Now, Yuno is based on an old visual novel. It's about time travel and other things. And it's you know, right, the first half of Yuno, we'll say first half, it's a bit more than half, but I really enjoyed it. You know, it is basically just Steins Gate, but not nearly as good. But that's fine, you know? I'm not expecting something that good. It was alright, it was fine. We get time to know all these characters, go through their arcs, see what's happening with all of them. Great, we get used to all these characters. I said I'm not going to do spoilers, but for Yuno, I really do need to talk about the thing that happens just over halfway through. Because if you don't want to hear, just skip a bit ahead. I'll you know, just skip a bit ahead. After the first half, it turned into an isekai. That's not a joke. Like, he enters a parallel world with 9 episodes to go. We're introduced to a brand new cast of characters, brand new world, brand new plot, brand new everything, and it's not even like the isekai part is bad either. You know, it's like that bit's good. That bit's good, but you've put them in the same series with not nearly enough time, so it just makes both sides less developed than they should be. You should have either focused on one or focused on the other. And yeah, it together it just was really real juxtaposition. And I'm not going to say it ruined it for me, because I did still have a good time watching it, and by the end, everything sort of does tie together, and I really do mean sort of, like they were really trying to tie everything together. But I did enjoy it, you know, I did enjoy Yuno, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's very well made, there's no plot holes, you know, everything makes perfect sense. It doesn't, you know, I don't know if it's fact, with visual novels especially, they might have left a lot of stuff out, but I can't help but think maybe they should have focused on either the human world stuff or the isekai stuff to you know, just make it better. Also, they make sex jokes a lot, so if you don't like that, you're one of them prude people, you're not gonna like it. But I thought it was okay. You know, I've seen a lot. It gets a lot of hate. I've seen a lot worse. Number 32 is If It's For My Daughter, I'd Even Defeat a Demon Lord. So the first few episodes, first half of this, I mean, it's basically just she's adorable, the show, and that's the point of the show, is the demon girl is adorable, and that's the thing. However, this starts to wear thin, you know. You do get a bit tired of it. You're like, okay, I want something of substance to happen, and nothing ever really does. It doesn't build to much, it just is. I get that that's the point, it doesn't need to, but with the title of I'd Even Defeat a Demon Lord, it's in the title. There's no demon lord. It's just her being adorable, you know. I will say though, that is also the show's strength. She is adorable, you know, but that can't last forever. So maybe should have put more, again, maybe more substance, but that's what you're in here for, is for look at the cute demon girl. Yeah, I don't have much to add on it. It was good, I still enjoyed it, you know. I feel like I'm being quite negative for these early ones. I said I'm a positive person. Most of these I actually did enjoy, but I've gotta explain why they're quite low down. So yeah, Demon Lord, you did alright, but you know, more substance next time. Number 31 is Hitori Bocchi, and I'm not going to try and pronounce the rest of it because it's a lot of words and I don't speak Japanese. Hitori Bocchi is about a girl, a shy girl, an anxious girl who just tries to make friends, you know, and that's it. When I read the synopsis, I was like, it's sort of like Watamote, but Watamote is more like angry anxiety. This is more like just shy anxiety. I don't know how to explain it very well, but you know, in Watamote she's angry, you know, she mutters things under her breath, she yells at people in her brain, but with this one, Hitori Bocchi's just really shy and can't talk to people. It's more light and fluffy, I'd say, than Watamote, but it's still good. As again, not too much substance here, but there is still a lot there, you know. It is just nice seeing her eventually slowly making friends and stuff. It's good, you know. I don't remember what inspired me to watch this, but because it wasn't something I watched while it was airing, I went back and watched it. So yeah, bit of a random one. That's why I'm struggling to remember it. But you know, you did like the characters and everything. Everything comes together. I liked it, you know. I don't really know. Again, this is one I don't have a lot to say on. It was just fun, slice of life, fun. So good job, Bocchi. Good job. Number 30 is Oroski, Are You the Only One Who Loves Me? I really like the first 3 episodes of this show, and then I guess I kind of like the next arc as well. But after that, they abandoned the title of the show. You know, it's the whole title of the show is Are You the Only One That Loves Me? That's the whole point, right? But then it just turns into another generic harem. Like I really liked the first 3 episodes where he's the best friend character and not the protagonist. I like that. But then it does just become every there's even a pool episode. It's just every harem ever, and I'm only annoyed because they started it so like strongly with, you know, we'll call it a unique premise. I'm sure it's been done before, but you know, a more unique selling point. But then it just devolves into now they all like him, you know, all around the same time. There's about 5 of them all just pile on. Yeah, we like him now. It's not terrible. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's terrible. I do like parts of this show. I like the secret personalities. I like all that. Just wish they would have stuck to the title. Would have been nice. Could have made a far more unique experience than what we're ending up with. So yeah, hopefully it pulls through though. It's not terrible, as I said. Yeah, get better. Number 29 is How Heavy Are the Dumbbells That You Lift? This was a fun show to watch. Basically, it's cute girls doing weightlifting, and that's the show. I mean, she's trying to lose weight to get a boyfriend. It's just weightlifting anime. They can get anime girls to sell you anything. Because after this, I was like, you know what? I might do some working out. And then I realized how unfit I am, and that I can't even lift a dumbbell. I'm so weak. But yeah, it's another one where I don't have much to say because I enjoyed it a lot when it was happening, but I don't have much. Like I'm not gasping for more. You know, I'm like, yeah, okay, that was good. Let's move on. Yeah, it was fun. It was nice. Dumbbells. Thumbs up. I really don't have much to add on this one. I'm sorry. Number 28 is my favourite show to talk about this whole year. It's Domestic Girlfriend, right? After every episode, I would tell my brother, who doesn't watch anime, what happened, and he would just look at me like I was the most, like I'd grown a third head. It was just God. Things were happening this week. This show was just the most entertaining, consistently, just entertaining in a trashy sort of way. And I can't. It's not something I'd normally watch, but just the premise of he sleeps with a girl and he fancies his sister, and then they both end up becoming his sisters, his teacher, sorry, and then they both end up becoming his sisters via a remarriage. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Let's see what we got here. It's so enjoyed talking about Domestic Girlfriend, but then also the characters are all right. You know, I mean, you'll be shouting at the screen like, "I hate you! Stop it! You're making bad decisions," but that's the point. Them making bad decisions is what gives us the joy. Domestic Girlfriend is, despite how low down it is, because it's not 100% great, but I love talking about it, you know. I could talk for another 10 minutes about it. I'm not going to, but yeah, Domestic Girlfriend, you get a thumbs up from me. Number 27 is a show that's airing right now that has been getting nowhere near enough love. I'm gonna be honest, completely nowhere near enough. It's No Guns Life. No Guns Life is about a guy with a gun for a head. He's like an investigator and stuff. It's got a very interesting world, but it's got really low scores on like my anime list, and I can't for the life of me figure out why. Is it because the mouths don't move when they talk? Because none of them have proper mouths? That's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, I really like No Guns Life. Despite the fact it's not even halfway, I do enjoy No Guns Life a lot. I think the world is really interesting, and it's Madhouse. I don't have any affection for Madhouse, which, you know, it's one of the ones that people have a lot of affection for. They love Madhouse. For me, I just don't get it. I think they're good, but I don't think they're amazing. I do like them though, and this show's good. I like No Guns Life, and I think people are giving it a really hard time, and I don't like that. He's got a gun for a head. That's the most unique thing that you're ever going to see. He's got a gun for a head. Crazy stuff. Anyway, No Guns Life. No Guns Life is worthy of your time, I think. It's not terrible. I don't understand why the scores are so bad. Number 26 is Cautious Hero. I don't know what's going on with Cautious Hero. It's had 2 weeks off in its runtime due to production delays. But Cautious Hero is quite entertaining, you know? The joke is that he's very cautious, but it ends up paying off. That's the joke. Also, Rista, the goddess, is the most entertaining thing in the world. She is just Aqua, but blonde and not useless, and can fly. She's like Aqua, I promise. But yeah, it's I think very entertaining. Cautious Hero, consistently entertaining, but I'm not screaming for more. You know, if we finish and we don't get any more ever, I will not be sad. But I mean, maybe it is just because of the summer Isekai drought and how bad it was. But God, by comparison, it's a lot better. It's a masterpiece by comparison, and maybe that is why a lot of people are thinking so highly of it. I'm not like one of them that thinks so highly of it. I think it's good, and I think it's pretty good. But I've seen better parodies. I've seen better comedy Isekai, but it's still entertaining. You know, Cautious Hero. You get a thumbs up. I gotta stop doing that. I'm gonna give everything thumbs up at this rate. Cautious Hero, you did good. Number 25, halfway done. Number 25 is Boogie Pop and Others. So, Boogie Pop and Others was a show that my opinion of changed very, a lot. Which, you know, it's halfway, so that should show how much more. Some weeks, I absolutely loved Boogie Pop and I was super invested in it. And then other weeks, I was just confused. You know, I came out of it and I had no idea what's going on. I think, but that's the point, you know. You're meant to be confused watching Boogie Pop in a weird way. But by the end of it, every arc, right, everything does come together and everything does make sense with Boogie Pop. in, you know, within the rules of its world. Very interesting. Like Boogie Pop, I think it's really interesting because Boogie Pop was never meant to be an anime. You know how people write light novels now with like the intention of one day this is going to be an anime. Boogie Pop wasn't like that, you know, and it shows the way it's made and stuff. I can't imagine the production meetings for Boogie Pop. Like, how are we going to do this? I actually really enjoyed it by the end of it, but it is confusing, and I can absolutely see why people were turned off by it. After the first couple episodes, I almost stopped watching. I was like, it doesn't make no sense. I don't get it. It's stupid. Don't understand. By the end of it, though, I grew to love it. You know, the one big complaint I will say is they don't really explain who people are. You've got a memory. It probably would have helped if you wrote down people's names as they showed up, because they all look pretty bland and realistic, I guess we'll go. There's no bright coloured hairs and that. And yeah, they show up a lot, and you kind of need to remember who they are, because the show does not do a good job of reminding you. But it adds to the whole you should be confused bit. But I think that's the wrong way of confused. But I still had a great time with Boogie Pop. I like trying to figure out what was going on myself, and then being completely wrong, and then Boogie Pop explains it in that lovely voice of hers. But yeah, Boogie Pop, not a show for everyone, but a show I very much enjoyed. Number 24, and next in the list of JC Staff Ruins Everything, is Date Alive 3. Right, I don't think this was terrible. It's one of the ones with One Punch Man and Index Season 3 that people bring up with the whole JC Staff absolutely ruins everything, argument. I've not read the light novel, but I'm aware that there is some cramming here. But as just the anime on its own, I think it worked alright, you know, Date Alive 3. No, it doesn't look quite as good as the first two seasons, and yes, they probably shouldn't have crammed that last book into one episode, but I think it shows my bias towards Date Alive. And remember, this is my list, and my order, and my preferences. I really like Date Alive, I've said it before, but I don't have much to say. Third season of Date Alive, continuing the story. I honestly do think it's going to get to the end. The anime is going to reach the end of the light novel the way it's going. I know we've got the spin-off next year, or has it been confirmed for next? We've got a spin-off at some point coming. That should be good. Date Alive season 3 had some of the best moments in the series. Like that's not up for debate. The whole origami stuff was great. I like the end as well, you know what? I did like Date Alive Season 3, I think more than most people. JC Staff, there was, the anime, not all the animation was good. There was a lot of bad animation. I'm not going to defend JC Staff on that one. But I don't think it was quite as bad as people are making it out to be. So, yeah, I'll defend you, Date Alive Season 3. I will defend you. Just don't be bad at the next one. Number 23, and I really wish I could put it higher, but I just can't do it. It's A Certain Scientific Accelerator. I love the Tuaru series, absolutely love them. Index, Railgun, Accelerator, love them all. But Accelerator is maybe the weakest of all of them so far. It's between this and Index Season 3. And Index Season 3 is only bad because the adaptation is bad. Leave that in, it's fine. Accelerator, the adaptation is really good, it's just the source sucks. Like it's not a good source. The manga isn't good. The way the anime improved the manga, which never happens. The manga's always better, as they know, as you say, as they know, as they say, as you know, as what I was trying to say. But yeah, they really did improve it with this. They added more scenes to add more context to it. They explained things better. They, you know, there are whole volumes of the manga that are just one fight, you know, and you can cram that into an episode easily, because the difference between moving I mean, I'm not going to explain how anime and manga are moving the moving pictures and all that. I'm not going to explain that. You're not stupid. But yeah, it was nice. It was kind of alright, you know. I feel like I'm very nice to this show. It shouldn't be this high probably, but I did like it. You know, I'm a big fanboy of the series, so I can't put it any lower. Wouldn't feel right. Hopefully, Railgun next year is near the top. It should be. I've read the manga. It should be good. Don't mess this up, JC Staff. Yeah, we'll add this to the list. I think they did a good job with this anime. Despite, you know, everything going against them, with Index 3 not being very well received and the manga of Accelerator being trash, I think this was a good effort and a solid, you know, they did all they could, I think, for this. It's just occurred to me with number 22 that there's been like 3 or 4 JC Staff shows in a row. Is it wrong to pick up Girls in a Dungeon 2 or Dameki Season 2? This is another one. I've been saying this phrase a lot. I feel like this show gets a lot of hate, Season 2 of Dameki. I don't think it was nowhere near as bad as people said. I don't think it's as good as Season 1, but I think people are remembering Season 1 as better than it was. Like, it's not that different. I think the biggest problem with Dameki Season 2, or one of the things that may, you know, go to the, you know, what's the word? Go with the problem. Make the problem worse there, is they don't go in the dungeon that often, and the dungeon is cool. Like, Season 2 of Dameki, they're barely in the dungeon. It's quite funny, and maybe also they should have spent more time on certain things. It feels really weird to say, because they crammed 5 books into the first season, and this one only had 2 and a side story. But it feels like they should have cut the side story and just have the 2 books, because the side story wasn't that important. But yeah, it was alright. I think I'm trying to convince myself it was better than it was. But Dameki, I enjoyed watching it week on week, but I think people were expecting to be blown away, and that didn't happen. I'll admit that didn't happen. It was just like, yeah, it's just another show, let's just watch it. I can't remember any big animation gaps though, so JC Staff did alright there. But yeah, Dameki Season 2, hopefully Season 3's better. I have read the source, the light novel, so it should be good. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but it should be good. We've also got that beach episode OVA, and that's screw Season 3, that's more important now, we got that to look forward to. Number 21 is The Helpful Fox Senko-san. This is just fluff, you know, quite literally, it's just fluff. I don't have a lot to say on this show. Senko-san is a fox god spirit thing who helps out this guy who's miserable all the time, and like pampers him and does cooking and laundry and other good stuff. It's just really nice and wholesome and fluffy, you know. When you look at the show, you would think it would get sexual pretty damn quickly, but it never gets too bad, you know. It is mostly, for the most part, fluffy and wholesome, which is good, because if it had gotten sexual and weird a lot, then I would have been weird. I know when he pets her tail, she makes a face, but it's, you know, it's nothing terrible, you know. I was expecting it to be very ecchi, and it wasn't, and I'm glad it wasn't, because that's the wholesome, it's a nice watch, easy to do. Liked Senko-san, it was good. Number 20 is The Demon Girl Next Door, one of, I think, the most underwatched shows of the year. I think it was summer this was airing. It was a High Dive exclusive, which perhaps explains it, because it's High Dive. This is about a demon girl who has to fight a magical girl, but it's not. It's like a slice of life. They end up becoming friends and stuff. It's basically just a demon girl, but she sucks at it, basically, and the magical girl ends up helping her. It's a good watch, you know. She's out and they become friends, and it's really nice and everything. I was a big fan of this show, you know. I think it was very good, very funny. It was nice. It was a nice watch, you know. In a similar vein to Senko-san, I didn't have to think about anything too seriously. It's just a nice, easy watch, and you know, sometimes you need that. And yeah, Demon Girl Next Door, I think you should watch it. I think it's quite good. Number 19 is Lord Elmaloy's Case Files Grace Note Rail Zeppelin. I said them the wrong way round. It's fine. So yeah, this one is part of the Fate series, and there are 2 ways you'll go into this show. Either you'll hate it because if you go in trying to solve the mysteries yourself and everything, you're probably not going to have a good time, because it relies so heavily on the magic, the magecraft, the rules of the world and all that. And that's actually the stuff I liked. Like, that is the primary use, I think, of this, is to explore the wider world of the Fate and the Nasuverse. And yeah, I really liked it. I liked the old, you know, how this magecraft can do this and that, you know. Also the mystery stuff is good too, even you can't figure out exactly what's going on. You can still have a rough idea. I really liked the exploration of the lore and stuff as well. I thought it was really interesting personally. I might be in the minority there, but I thought it was good. And the characters were good. Bloody Wave of Velvet, remember him? He's great. Look what he looks like now. Don't you feel old? Yeah, great. I had a really good time with Lord Elmloyd's Case Files. Number 18 is the Quintessential Quintuplets, my favourite harem of this year, or my favourite, you know, high school harem of the year. I think the fact that at the beginning they show you he does marry one of them, so like I feel like that helped, because it did build like an air of mystery to it, like just knowing that, hey, there is going to be a proper ending, you know. It's like, oh, now let's look for clues while we're going. Maybe that's just me looking way too into it, but yeah, it also helps that all the characters were likable, you know. Literally could be any of them. Like, it doesn't feel like at the moment in the anime anyone's got a significant lead over anyone else, you know. It feels like it could go any way, and that's actually kind of exciting for a harem show. I know we got season 2 coming in the coming year, so hopefully that can build, you know, keep building on that, see what's going on. I also know the manga is ending soon. It might even be, oh, I can't remember when it is, but the manga is ending soon. And you know, season 2 of the anime, this could end up getting finished in anime form, which is something that doesn't happen too often, so that's quite exciting. But yeah, season 1 I really liked it, you know. Maybe I liked it a bit too much, but I just really enjoyed it this year. I thought it was good. Number 17 is the most ambitious crossover in anime history. It's Isekai Quartet. So Isekai Quartet has no right being this good. It's just so enjoyable seeing all the characters mingle and interact. Also seeing all the characters not in serious, dark, suffering, life-threatening situations, and instead in a comedic high school setting. That's also pretty nice. Obviously, Konosuba aside, because that's just comedy all the way through. But even though Kazuma does die a lot, so maybe that Kazuma's probably died more than all the others put together. So there's a scary thought. But yeah, Isekai Quartet, really fun. It shouldn't work. It really shouldn't work. But I just think it's just so nice and easy. Honestly, wished it was longer every week, and that's not something any of the other short anime had done. I was like, I want this to be longer. And I know we're getting a season 2, and I'm very excited about it. Why is it not called Isekai Quintet when Shield Hero's joining? More on that later. Doesn't matter, does it? I'm just excited for it, you know. Season 1 was nice and fluffy, and just I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say about it. It was just a complete shock. When it was announced, I was like, this is either going to be the greatest thing ever, or it's going to be dreadful. And it was the greatest thing ever, except for the other 16 things on this list. In my opinion, and by ever, I mean this year. But you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? I mean, I am excited for the season 2. Wondering if they can keep the momentum going, because they did a lot of tropes in the first season. Like, did the beach episode, all that other stuff. Can they keep doing more stuff? They didn't do School Festival. There's that. They got I'll take it back. They got loads of stuff they could do. Yeah, should be good. Number 16 is My Hero Academia Season 4. Maybe a bit lower than some people were expecting due to its popularity in that. Here's the thing, they spent an awful long time with build-up this season. Like, a really long time. Like, 6 or 7 episodes. That's, you know, that's almost 2 months. That's a long time. However, now we've got going, it's very enjoyable and the fights are awesome. And, you know, seeing all the individual characters working, and like then we get their backstories and we build up their characters. It's really good. It's My Hero at its best. But that build up, man, it was interesting, but it maybe went on for a couple weeks too long. Like, I will admit that. But yeah, this is one that hasn't finished, and honestly, I think it's only gonna kick into high gear in the second half, which will be next year. But so far, it's been for me, I found it a solid alright. I kind of wish I was expecting more, but now that it's getting going, it's like, whoa, it's getting there. There have been parts where I've been like, whoa, you bastard, you animal, to the bad guy. And I'm not going to spoil, obviously, but yeah, it's been a slow start, but now it's going, plus Ultra and all that. But yeah, I think it's only going to get better as the season progresses. Number 15 is Food Wars, the 4th plate. Unlike My Hero Academia, which had a load of build-up, Food Wars had no build-up, really. It was just, well, as Season 3 left off, we jump right back into the season 4, which is, we're in the middle of the final battle basically, and it's been bloody enjoyable. I think every week, you know, it's been pretty formulaic, which I guess could be a bad thing. It's like we're gonna have a round a week, but I've just had a good old time watching it. You know, there've been parts where I've been like, oh, you know, like that, and genuinely, final battles and big old team ups are things I really like, and that's something that is here in this thing. We have like all the different, you know, the Rebel Alliance, we'll call them, and then we got the bad guys, big old team fight. Really like it. I'm not going to spoil the results or anything, but just in case you want to watch or catch up or whatever. But yeah, it's been good. I guess one negative I will say is, and it's something that's become really apparent this season, I think, with the back-to-back fights. Fights? We'll call them fights, sure. Is the lack of actual cooking. Like, it's like, fight begins, battle begins, Shokugeki begins, food begins, and then they're done. You know, there's no in between. We don't see how they're preparing the thing. So maybe that's probably the main negative. But honestly, at this point, I'm watching it more for the characters than the cooking, which feels very weird, and I feel like I'm probably in the minority there. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot, actually. So, come at me. Oh boy, people are gonna be mad at this next one. So number 14 is Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld. What? Sword Art Online? That should be number 50. It's the worst anime ever. Ugh. Shut up. Alright? Shut up. I'm not getting into this argument with you. But my list. Fight me. They don't actually. But yeah, Sword Art Online, I know, let's call it divisive. That's fair. That's divisive is a fair statement. This season though, I feel like a lot of the faff is gone. We had like My Hero Academia, the first few episodes or whatever, the setup, that was kind of faffy. We had a lot of lore explanation and everything. Maybe that's the thing I think is that turns people off. But after that, we've had basically non-stop fight. Like the war has took center stage. It's just a lot of fighting. And say what you want, the animation has been really good, especially for the Alicization part. I think it's maybe even turned up to another level in this War of Underworld. So that's I like Sword Art, right? So I'm not one of the haters. I'm trying to justify the place here for those people, which, you know, it's never going to work. But I think personally, it's because it's focused more on the battles, the fights, and all that. It's been better for everyone. You know, the plot is what divides people, I think. The battles, I think the animation, people are pretty consistent, like, yes, the art and the animation and the music's good. So if you because they're focusing more on that stuff, I feel like it's better for everyone. Like, personally, I like the plot as well, which is why it's this high up. But, yeah. Hopefully, I've done an alright job of justifying it. Please don't be mad. Please. Let's just get to the next one. Number 13, unlucky number, but lucky for Teasing Master Takagi-san Season 2. The most recent of the shows I watched, because it dropped on Netflix last week, I think. I don't know when this is going up. Well, now you know when it was filmed. So, yeah, this Takagi-san Season 2 was an improvement over Season 1 in almost every single way. Like, I really liked it. It's more of the same, but it's the same, but it's improved. They've improved the same, if that makes sense. And I think that's something that every sequel should do, and it's baffling that not all sequels do. There was forward progression in their relationship. It was just good, you know. Kind of sucks that we had to wait for Netflix to pull their finger out and release it, but that's the price you pay with Netflix. They are both a blessing and a curse when it comes to anime. But yeah, no, it was really good. I think I definitely enjoyed it more than the first season, and you know, really good, I thought. Number 12 is Kaguya-sama Love is War. This was such an enjoyable watch, man. I can't even put it into words, really. Just the way immediately they're likable, right? They're like, it is tsundere versus tsundere at its best, and God, man, the Chica dance, Chica's dance, man, that was everywhere for a few weeks. At least for me, I was just seeing it all over the place. It was great. Loved the characters. I think the fact that the cast wasn't massive, there is a small cast, really helped, because by the end of it, I was loving all of them. You know, there isn't a single cast member I dislike, and the way they interact and everything, it's frustrating sometimes, but that's the point, and then it's like really sweet and nice other times. So yeah, Kaguya-sama, happy it's getting a season 2. I don't know when that is, I don't think it's been announced, but season 2 is more than welcome, so I'm happy it's coming. And yeah, good stuff from you, Kaguya-sama. Who made it? A1? I think it was A1. Good stuff. Number 11 is Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. Again, one of the shows that I'm bloody surprised about. I do love Fate, that's for sure, but this being based on the mobile game, just the fact that it is based on a mobile game, I know Fate Grand Order is a juggernaut, but it's still a mobile game. I was expecting this to be not very good, but instead, no, it's very, very enjoyable. It's very well animated, that's the immediate thing. Like, even if the story is slow at points, and it is slow at points, I'm not going to pretend it's not, you know, the animation is absolutely pushing it up, you know. It's, considering this is Cloverworks previously, the thing I remember them from is Persona 5 the animation, which, I'll put bluntly, is crap. Luckily I don't have to talk about that though, but Fate Grand Order Babylonia, you can tell there's been a lot of care. I don't know who we have to thank for that, but they've done an absolute great job with this so far. And considering most Fate anime are back heavy, like the endings are usually really good, like, and it's been so good already. Just can't wait to see what they do going forward, because the second halves are genuinely better. Think about it, it's true. Yeah, very looking forward to seeing what goes on in the future. They've done a good job making with a lot of things in this show, making even the protagonist, who of course in the mobile game doesn't really have a personality, making him like have a be a character, you know, that was good. Despite the fact it's the one like downside with this, I guess, is it's the 7th chapter of the game. They've done the prologue chapter and then we're on to chapter 7. Luckily for me, I'm almost up to date, but even not being completely up to date, I can still follow what's going on. Obviously, this is not a good place to start with Fate, I don't think, because of a lot of things. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it though. The animation is absolutely what's pulling it ahead though in my eyes. We're into the top 10 now with number 10, and that is Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is probably one of the most watched shows this year, for good reason. It's unique, you know, it's a unique premise despite being a shonen. Originally I thought it might be a battle shonen because it just has that look about it. It's not a battle shonen, it's about science, which is something that turns people off, not because it's about science, but because it's not realistic, you know what I mean? And I always make the argument, if you want something realistic, don't watch anime. Like, anime can be used for so many things, you can do so much with it that you can't do with regular actors and stuff, so why restrict yourselves to making it super realistic when you can make it somewhat realistic and somewhat over the top and cool and like anime, you know? Make it more, I think it's more entertaining that way, that's just my personal opinion. But no, Dr. Stone is one originally wasn't feeling it all, first few episodes, but then as it progressed I grew to like it. And yeah, really liked it. But then again towards the end it was a bit like, getting a bit repetitive here. It's still good. I think for me the characters and how they even if they're not centre stage, they still manage to get across who they are, and they develop, even like some of the side characters. Liked it, you know? The science thing was unique, but it's not the reason I like the show, you know? The reason I like the show is the characters, and I think that's a recurring theme for a lot of things on here. That's a thing that I think makes a show for me, and I did like the characters in this one. So yeah, the story is interesting too, the setting as well is interesting. I'm curious to see, because obviously we've got a second season announced now. That should be really good. The way the way the plot has gone. Second season should be, I guess, more typical of a battle shonen maybe, but that's fine. You're allowed to have big fight arcs in even non-battle shows. But yeah, hopefully, really good. I think it will be, and I've enjoyed the first season as well. So yeah. Number 9 is The Rising of the Shield Hero. Now I know a lot of people didn't like this one and thought it was overrated or whatever. I really enjoyed it. Every week I love watching Shield Hero. It was great. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's got no flaws, it's perfect, because that's just insane, quite frankly. But what I think it really did do is it got being an isekai without being completely boring and also not completely revolutionary, you know? For me it was the best standard isekai I can think of. I know they have the twist at the beginning, but for the most part, it is a standard isekai fare. And I think that it got that really well without, like, I've spoken about Isekai Cheat Magician, Wise Man's Grandchild. They're very bland. Here, it's not super bland. The characters are interesting enough. I liked the conflict between the heroes. Don't know if we needed a second and a third season announced at once, though. That was a bit overkill, but considering how talked about this show was, I'm not surprised, because and maybe it is just the vocal minority that didn't like this show. I really liked it, you know. It was an enjoyable watch every week, and yeah, I'm excited for it to come back. I'm excited for them to be in Isekai Quartet Season 2 as well. Interested to see how they affect the cast and everything. That'll be good. Yeah, Shield Hero, it did have some really good parts, I thought. So yeah, Shield Hero, you get a thumbs up from me. Number 8 is Mob Psycho 100 Season 2. I almost forgot this was this year, you know? I binged it a few months ago, and it was like all the Mob Psycho, so yeah. Season 2 is, quite honestly, it's an improvement over Season 1, and Season 1 was already very good. So the fact that Season 2 is able to improve on that is very, like, telling of how good it is, especially that last arc, last section. Great animation, even it looks chaotic, the animation, but that's the point, you know. It's good chaotic animation. Good character development all around. It gets to an ending, you know. We get an ending of Mob Psycho 200. That's what it should be called. Just very enjoyable, you know. I feel like I've said that a lot over the last few entries. Just really, like, couldn't tear my eyes away type thing. It was, even if it for the most part was just a big old light show, it's what you want in a battle shonen. It's exciting. It's cool, you know. It's a big battle between two very strong people at the end. Like, that is what you want in a battle shonen, really. It was very, very, very good at what it is. I know some people don't like the battle shonen like formula, and that's fine, you know. I'll watch a bit of everything, as I hope has been made clear by this list. There's a bit of everything on here. So yeah, the battle shonen, the Mob Psycho 200, very enjoyable, very good. Fully deserving of all the praise it gets, completely honestly. Number 7 is going to annoy some people, because this show is apparently the greatest thing to ever exist, and I think it's very good as well, hence why it's number 7. But it's Vinland Saga, right? And I know some people are going to be mad that it's not number 1, or not even in the top 5, top 3. Vinland Saga, for me, it was slow. It was very slow. Looking back on it now, that was the right decision. That doesn't mean it wasn't slow at the time. And when this is a few seasons in Vinland Saga, I'm going to forget about that slow start, and it's going to be epic non-stop. But week on week, there were some episodes where I came out of it thinking that nothing of note happened. And that's not a feeling that I can go and change just because I can look back and say it was the right decision in hindsight. But, you know, now that's the negative thing done, Vinland Saga is bloody good. Okay? The characters are so well done. Their evolution feels so natural. It's they grow on you without you realizing it. It's something that I know, like, looking back on it, I realized. Just very good. The plot is interesting. Even another criticism, like Dr. Stone's, it's not realistic. It's like it has the right mix of realism and then anime over the topness that makes it so enjoyable and very, very good. Really like Vinland Saga. Please don't be mad that it's only at number 7, because that's still not a bad number. Number 6 is O Maidens in Your Savage Season. This was, again, one of the things I was really surprised about. This show is really good. It's melodramatic. I'm not going to say it's not, but I like melodrama, so it's good. Basically, it's about girls learning about sex and all the things that comes from that. Starts off as sort of like a comedy, which, you know, fair enough, but it grows into this drama that keeps coming. Got me out of my seat in anger, in cheering, and frustration. If a show can do that, it fully deserves to be up here with all these other shows. Very good, I thought this. I like the art style as well. The art style is sort of like watercolory. It's, you know, looks different from other things. I think it's good. It works really well. This was a show I don't want to spoil. Also, has the best boy the whole year in it. So, yeah, not the main one, the older one. He was bloody great. He was a great guy. Support him 100%. Loved this show, honestly. Number 5, we'll keep it coming with the ones I was surprised about, is Fruits Basket. The remake that started this year. I didn't think I was going to like this show very much at all. I was only watching it because I'd heard of Fruits Basket before. I'd heard the name Fruits Basket, and that it was some shoujo manga, and I was like, okay, well, that's not really aimed at me. I'll give it a watch, because as I said, I'll watch anything. And I ended up absolutely adoring it. You know, every week I learned all the characters, loved all the characters as they showed up, most of them. And I was interested in where the story was going. And, you know, it's not finished yet, so I can't give a definitive thing. But in terms of intrigue and how much, like, I thought about it, this is one of the ones that's most up there, honestly. And the fact that I've got absolutely no desire to look up spoilers. I know it's been finished, the manga, for a while. But I just want to wait for the anime, you know? I just want to wait to see how it's going to play out on the anime and everything. It's very well done. I've not seen the original anime either, so it's a completely new experience for me. I thought it was really good, you know? Really, really enjoyable. Especially considering it's not something I would usually watch. It has convinced me that maybe I should give other genres that I'm not 100% into, I should give them a watch, just because I might find something really, really good. So, Fruits Basket, bloody good, I thought. Really good. Number 4 is Astra Lost in Space. Another one that I think is quite divisive. I personally thought it was bloody excellent, this. I know I've said bloody a lot, so YouTube will probably be mad at me, but Astra Lost in Space was completely out of nowhere. Like, it didn't even seem like a lot of people were talking about it, but I thought it was almost a masterpiece, personally. I know some people didn't like the characters. I loved the characters, and I wasn't expecting to like the characters. I loved the twists, the constant twists. I like constant plot twists. As I've mentioned previously, I like Kingdom Hearts, so I know what that's like. Astra Lost in Space, you know, the constant. Every episode would end on a cliffhanger, and that's something that, for me, I like. You could say it was overused, and they, you know, used it way too much. It kept me excited week on week, and I really liked it. And I liked that the ending was happy. You know, I usually with endings I don't want a happy ending. Here I was 100% wanting it. And I was rooting for it, and it was really enjoyable. I thought I liked all the twists. I liked all the turns. I liked all the what at heart was a very basic premise, and they made it really expansive and interesting. I really liked it. Astra Lost in Space, it's one of the ones that I will definitely rewatch in the future. It's only 12 episodes, 13 or 12, very short. So yeah, easy to rewatch. Just really was a fan of this one. It made a believer out of me. Number 3 is Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2. What do you even say about this one, man? The best Attack on Titan has ever been. For me personally, this was the point where I finally got Attack on Titan, because obviously it's been going on for a while. At first I didn't like it very much at all, and then as we went on, I was like, yeah, okay, it's alright. I still think it's a bit overrated. Here is where I got it. This season, you know, you have all the cool fights, the big final battle fight, whatever, the important plot, you know, progression, very important there. There's just all the little things, the drama with, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, but the drama was there. It's just, they packed so much into this. Only 10 episodes this was, and it was just the most. It got me so hyped for the final season, which of course is next year. That, man, it made a believer out of me, and that's why it's so high. And for a while I was amazed how good it was, because I hadn't seen this kind of goodness, kind of quality from Attack on Titan. I was like, it's fine, but you know, whatever. There's a lot of fine shows. But now I'm like, yeah, really good season. Honestly, I'm glad they took the break between the first part of Season 3 and this part, because Part 2 blows everything else out of the water for me. Season 3 originals, like Part 1, still good, but Part 2, man, I barely got words for how hyped it made me feel on a weekly basis, and that's not something that happens often. Number 2 is Demon Slayer. So, I bet you thought it would be number 1, and I almost did it. You know, I very nearly put it in number 1, and It took a lot of thinking. Like this list did not come together in an hour. This was a lot of thinking, a lot of switching things around. But Demon Slayer, what do you even say, man? Episode 19, obviously. That I'm not going to spoil it. If you know about it, you definitely know about it. It's one of the few times that I've actually been stunned in awe of an anime. Like legit watching it, I couldn't speak. I could barely breathe. I was like, what? I was so stunned as to what I was. It was brilliant, beautiful, honestly. The rest, that's not to say that's the only good part of the season or the series, and I'm letting that cloud my judgment. The rest of the series is really good, despite the fact that it is battle shonen. That we've seen thousands of battle shonens probably at this point. It refines it all. It refines it. Just a lot of it is down to the animation. Ufotable doing a wonderful job, as they always do. But even the story stuff, the story's not bad. The story is simplistic. The story is cliched, we'll call it. The characters are very similar, but they're still likable, You don't need an amazing, well thought out, complicated story. Well thought out, you do need that. You need a well thought out story. You don't need a complicated story to make something really enjoyable. If Demon Slayer had a complicated story, it wouldn't be as good because it would be overcomplicated. Here, you got, at its heart, it's go kill demons. But each demon has its own story. Each arc, has its own story. The characters themselves have their own story. Even the ones I ended up not liking, I started not liking, like Zenitsu. Nobody liked Zenitsu. But then as we went forward, I started to like him too. Even though he, was miserable at some points. Now, why is it not number one? That's the question, right? In the middle, it was a little bit slow. And I do mean a little bit. Like, you don't get number two by being really bad in the middle. It was slightly worse in the middle. And there was some weeks where I was like, okay, that was good, but it could have been a bit better. Which is why it's one of the reasons why it's number two. The other reason is because number one had me literally not jumping out my seat, but you know what I mean, hyped on a weekly basis. And we'll get to that in a minute. But Demon Slayer absolutely had best moment of the year with episode 19, because I've not had many moments where I've been that stunned by something. So that's special. That was a special moment. And finally, number one is The Promised Neverland. This was the beginning of the year, and I called it then when I was watching it. This will be my anime of the year. And I know I make this list, so I could have just put it as number one regardless, but I thought about it, and I was like, Attack on Titan was great, Demon Slayer was great, Fruits Basket came out of nowhere, Astra. No, Promised Neverland for me. Weekly, I had this, it was rumbling my chest with tension as to what was going to happen. I hadn't even heard of the manga, and I almost didn't watch The Promised Neverland, but until literally people bothered me. Like my friends, I was reading through Twitter and people were like, you've got to watch The Promised Neverland. And I was like, okay, I'll watch The Promised Neverland. And I did, and from episode 1, I was hooked very early on. And just the whole season, despite the fact that in the grand scheme of things, they do one thing the whole season. It's one arc, they have one goal, they do that one goal. I think that helped, the focus of just doing the one thing. Whenever anything would happen, I would be at work just thinking of theories of what's going on. I was thinking, is that kid a spy? What's happening? I liked the characters. I loved The Promised Neverland, and I'm worried for season 2 because season 1 was so focused on that one thing. The fact that season 2 now, it's expanded. I'm not going to spoil, what's going on exactly, but the season 2 is obviously expanded. So I'm wondering, can it keep that quality without the focus? But even if it can't, season 1 of The Promised Neverland will always live as bloody one of the most tense 3 months of my life. Because, man, every week something would happen. There'd be a shiver down my spine whenever something was happening. It was great. I loved watching this show, and I think it's more than deserving of being my anime of the year. Yeah, loved it. And that is my list. Thank you everybody for watching this review and sticking with me this far. as I said at the beginning, you don't have to agree with me, you probably won't. I'd love to see your lists of what you watched as well at the, in the comments. Please don't shout at me for any choices I may or may not have made. Obviously, if something's not on this list, it means I haven't seen it. So if I've missed something that you thought was really good, tell me, hey, you should watch this, it's really good, and I might get around to it at some point. Thank you, everybody. If you stuck with it this far, like, Jesus, you're a good guy, or girl, and thank you very much. I'm gonna have a lot more content coming on both this channel, and obviously the review channel is going non-stop, so check both of those out if you are interested. Thank you everybody for watching. As I said, I will see you in whatever you decide to watch next. And bye guys.